Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new project here on my channel. Well, the last time we've seen each other was last Monday when we finished our nocturnal house The Night, where I built the facade for it. And I was thinking a lot. I told you guys that I was thinking about quitting my English stuff on the channel and only doing German stuff, and where to go next, what to do next. Yeah, in the end I decided we are going to quit Let's Build a House. So we built a reptile house, we built a nocturnal house, but what I figured out, what I missed the most the whole time, was building a new zoo. So one of these big projects like I had in the past, like Brooksburg, Litchfield, Swamp Lake, Arizona Adventure Park, even Waveland Park. So yeah, sure, I'm building small zoos in my DLC zoo series, and that is really fun, and I like what I'm doing there, but I really do miss building complete zoos. I miss having the chance to choose between all the animals we do have here, between all the pieces that I could use to build stuff. So yeah, I don't have that in the DLC zoo series. We're only building small zoos for all the animals from the different DLCs, and only using the pieces of the DLC and the base game. So I'm very limited with what I'm doing right now in all the series that I have on my channel. Even though the Planet Coaster stuff, where I'm building this Greek style park, Mount Olympus. So yeah, I just wanted to go away from all the limits that I set myself to. So yeah, here we are. Welcome to Greenpine Zoo and Gardens. And I want this zoo to be very special, because I want to take my time. I always take my time for building stuff in Planet Zoo. I'm not the one that's going to be like, I have to rush things, so no matter what, let's have a video ready the next week. No matter if I like it or if I don't like it, that's never been me. So yeah, but I really wanted to take even more time to create stuff for you guys, and you will see that once we are getting yeah, a little bit further into the video today, because this whole building here took me quite some time. Well, maybe not as much time as the last build did, where I built the facade for the nighttime house or the nocturnal house in our series, but it was about 5 or 6 hours this whole thing took me, but I really had fun. Well, that might be a little lie, because actually it wasn't always fun to build such a detailed building, but it is fun when you see the end product in the end, and you can be proud of it. So my recommendation for you guys is, if you want to create something, just take your time, don't rush things, and take one step after another. So yeah, I'm always using some kind of inspiration for my builds here in Planet Zoo. So I'm always looking up some pictures on Google and thinking about if I could do this. No, that's actually not true. I'm never thinking about, can I do this? I'm looking at pictures and think, that is what I want to build, and then I start building it. Because in the end, if you look at all those very, very, very talented creators that are out there, that are building in Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster and wherever, especially in Planet Zoo at this point, with all the building pieces that we do have in the game, there is almost nothing that you can't build. It's just a matter of what pieces you use and how you use those pieces. So yeah. Maybe some of you guys already know which zoo entrance I used for inspiration. Well, not just inspiration, because this entrance building for Greenpine Zoo and Gardens is actually a recreation, because I recreated an actual entrance that is out there, and it is the entrance of Sydney's Taronga Zoo. So yeah, maybe you want to check that out on Google. Just Google it, Taronga Zoo entrance building, and you might get something that looks very, very similar to that what I'm building right now. Usually I don't do recreations. Usually I just go into Google, look for stuff, and then making my own out of it. Not this time. This time I decided I'm going for complete recreation. And yeah, as I said, usually I don't do this because I always think that limits me and gives me strict restrictions, what to do, how to do it, how it has to look like, and yeah, but it wasn't that bad this time. So, as I said, I really had fun doing this, and I hope you guys can see the similarity to the build of Taronga Zoo. So, at this point I also don't have an idea in which direction we are going with the zoo. Well, we do have a very classical entrance build. I told you guys in the last episode that I wanted to have something like an adventure zoo where we can have different styles in there, and yeah, I'm still thinking about that. I'm still open to that. I'm also feeling the classic vibe, or the more city zoo vibe style right now when I'm looking at the entrance building. So maybe we're mixing things up just a little. So having hyper modern areas in there with completely new builds, or maybe some very old classic builds in there as well. Yeah, nothing is impossible at this moment, and I'm looking so much forward to it. By the way, I have to tell you guys, we are not going to finish the whole entrance completely. So the building is finished in the end of the video, but we have to make it work before we open the zoo. So we have to do some work on the inside of the entrance. So we need to have those information counters. I want to have some of them in there so that the guests would come up the stairs, buy their tickets, and then go into the actual zoo. We are going to do some gardening. Yeah, as I said, the zoo is called Greenpine Zoo and Gardens, so we're going to take care of planting here as well. So yeah, that's going to happen. And I also want to do something that I usually don't do as well, because usually I don't build parking lots, or yeah, the outside of the zoo. I'm not going into that scenery usually, but we are going to do that this time. So the next episode is all about finishing the entrance area. As I said, building the information counters, having some of the staff facilities in there as well, trying to make them also realistic. Maybe we need to extend our entrance building a little bit for the staff buildings. Yeah, I want to get into that as well. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, taking my time with this because I want this to be my masterpiece for this time, until we finish this and get into a new park. But it's going to take some time. Okay, so but I'm curious for you guys to hear what you wish what this park would have. So go into the comment section and let me know what you guys wish for this park. What are you looking forward to? What do you want to see? Yeah, what's your desires? What do you wish for? I'm very curious to know that, and yeah, just get into the comment section. And by the way, as I'm asking you to comment on this video, I would also love for you guys to hit the like button for this video and to also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already, so that you don't miss out on any future episodes here in Greenpine Zoo and Gardens. Well, Greenpine would be something else. Yeah. As I told you, maybe you want to look up the entrance from Taronga Zoo. I tried to recreate it as possible as I actually could. And the funny thing is that for a huge part of this building, I was not even using actual wall pieces. As you can see, I was using so many smaller pieces. I'm also planning to upload the entrance to the workshop once it is finished. In the end of the video, you can see that I didn't close up the sides on the left and on the right side of the build. So yeah, you might find the link to the workshop in the next video that is hopefully coming out next week, so you can download the building yourself. I'm also planning not to include any guest facilities or staff facilities for the upload, so you can do that yourself, because it is always a little bit problematic if you do that. Yeah, if you put that into your build and upload it to the workshop, and the pathing tool here, you know what it is. It's always a little bit tricky. So yeah, no builds in there, so you can do that yourself and you don't have that many problems with the pathing and stuff. Yeah, I also had to create those windows myself, because we didn't have the right windows in the right size that I wanted to have in here. Being realistic, those windows are way too big for a realistic build. But on the other hand, yeah, it works just perfectly fine. We will see how it looks once our guests are here, because I think the entrance build is massive, but I think, yeah, it will work out, definitely. Yeah, and another reason why I didn't upload it to the workshop is that I would have to connect all the building pieces to just one, I think, so that I could upload it as a building. And I didn't want to do this as long as the building is not completely finished. Because especially for the windows, I had the windows separate to the building. because I did have to copy them a lot. Yeah, for sure I could have taken them and put it elsewhere on the map so I could use them, but yeah, that's just how it works. Yeah, and here you can already see we are almost 15 minutes into the video, and yeah, we haven't finished a lot right now using those relief pieces here. Yeah, and I really do like that. I think we also need to go into the stairs in the next episode, make them look a little bit more proper. And as I said, we need to go into decoration, definitely. So building the two towers on the left and on the right to the centerpiece. And that is what I said in the beginning. So if you want to build something like this, if you want to recreate something, just take one step at a time and focus on what you are going to build next, and not thinking about what comes after that step. What is the next thing to do after you finished something? So only worry about that once you get there, and everything will work out. So don't think about all of the problems you might face, just think about the problem that you're working on right at the moment. Yeah, here I had to change the windows, because the upper windows in the original are shaped differently. So I was using those small wooden planks here to create the circle. Not very great for the piece count, but yeah, I didn't have another option. And here this was a little bit tricky. Yeah, because I had to copy those one-way glasses, and as you can see, they are overlapping a little bit and they are sticking through, and I had to come up with an idea how to change that. So I was using those small what kind of pieces had they been? Just one second. I have to Google that. Was it limestone? Yeah, it was limestone. I was using those small decoration limestone pieces that I'm using here as well to cover that up. And you might see that when you're getting really close to the building, but if you are not, you're not going to see that. So the next step was the centerpiece that I'm building right here. And as I told you, it wasn't that hard to build the complete thing. So everything that I planned really worked out pretty nice. And also when I was in about 5 minutes or so, when I was copying the whole thing around so that we have the same thing on the inside of the zoo, everything fit so well. So I was so happy that it actually worked out this time, because usually that is something that doesn't, and that takes a lot of time if you are not able to copy stuff and have to build every little piece by yourself once again. So yeah, not this time, and I'm very happy that it worked out. Yeah, here you can already see that this whole entrance building is so massive. And I also was using a flat map this time for the zoo. I told you guys in Litchfield Zoo, I think, that I was using a map with some kind of elevation in there, because I think it is it is a great inspiration when you use a map with elevations in there, and tell yourself that you have to work with that. So in a real zoo, when you would build a real zoo, usually you don't have that flat areas there, if it is not a city zoo. And you have to come up with solutions. I'm thinking of the zoo in Nuremberg, which is such a great zoo. So if you are anywhere close to that, you definitely have to go to there. If you are not, just check out my video on the playlist Bake and Play on Tour. I have been there, and the zoo is built almost on a mountain. So yeah, but they use that so perfectly. So yeah, it was a great challenge for me to do something like that in Litchfield Zoo, to go with the elevation and use it. But I didn't want to do that this time, because I thought I don't want to be creative. That is not correct. I don't want to come up with ideas how to use the area or the terrain. I just want to focus on beautiful buildings, beautiful habitats, and details, and don't want to go into terrain work that much. Because most of the time when you do that, it's not going to be very realistic. So like a real life zoo, yeah. So the roof for the building was a little bit more difficult to build. I was using those metal beams here for the structure of it. And just once again copy and rotate. So here we do have the skeleton for the roof, and now we have to cover it. And therefore I'm using a technique that I'm using a lot of time when I build something like a round shaped roof. Because the problem that you have when you do something like this, building pieces overlap so much that it looks weird. So there's a simple trick to that. Just take a look. I'm using those Indonesian wooden planks. Was coloring them in a darker color so that it matches the whole vibe. And the further I'm going upwards and towards the center of the roof, I'm using smaller pieces. So, because when you start copying those things and circle it around, the more you get to the center, the more your pieces are going to overlap. So, if you're using smaller pieces once you get to the middle of it, that would not happen. So, you have a nicer shape of the roof. And this works pretty fine. Just make sure that you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller once you go to the center. And here you can already see we are finished putting those in a group, copying it around, making sure it fits perfectly. And then we can circle it around. So, and here you can see they do overlap, but not that bad. So it looks quite nice in the end. So that is the easiest way to do it, especially when you build something that is round shaped. Yeah, and here you can already see the centerpiece of the building is finished. And I'm very, very, very happy with it. So, going on with the rest of the building. What we are going to have on the left and on the right side of the building is we're going to have some kind of a tunnel that's going through the building, like we do have in the center, where I was telling you I want to have the information counters in there, so that we pretend our guests will buy the tickets for the zoo there. The right one, I've never been in Sydney to the Taronga Zoo, but the right one looked to me like it was the actual exit, so where you could only exit the zoo. So we're going to pretend that it is like that. So we are building the exit on the right one. The left one, that will be open when once we are finished with today's episode, seems to be closed all the time in Taronga Zoo. So I was thinking that we are also going to close that. We're going to build something like a gate. So this actually could be the entrance where delivery enters, or animal transport enter the zoo. So that was what I was thinking, and we actually could put some of the staff facilities in there. So maybe the vet. Sorry, we're not going to put any fat in there. We're going to put the vet in there. Quarantine, whatever. So something like that. And maybe we are going to have a bigger backstage area in next week's episode. I just don't know. We're going to see. So yeah, back to my point. As I told you, we are going to have some of the staff buildings on the left side of the building, where we are going to close the tunnel that we are building right now. Here you can see I was using those concrete blocks, the small ones, to create the circle, which is an easy option if you want to build something like an arch. So you can do that pretty easy with those pieces. Yeah, and here we are. Same on this side, and then the same on the back side of the building as well. So doing some decorations around here, once again with the ornaments or relief or whatever it is called in English, making it look beautiful, and old or historic. Yeah, just like that. Same on the other side. And the big one on the middle. So, And as I told you, this one right here, where I'm building right now, is going to be the one that we are going to close. Maybe we're going to have a sign that says delivery only or whatever. So to make it realistic, because in the past builds, PS Vision Gaming always was commenting when I was building a huge house or something like that, where transportation is going to enter, where the animals can be put into the house, where a delivery is going to come into. And I was always like, yeah, don't know about that, maybe I'm doing that in the future or thinking about that. And this time I am thinking about that. Promise you guys, at least in the beginning of creating this zoo, I'm thinking about things like that. Yeah, and the funny thing is I'm using pieces that I never used before for any build. I knew that we do have those pieces in here in the game, but I never used those. So like this here, those pieces, those decorational pieces are all from the European DLC. Yeah. Never used that before because I didn't know how to use them, where to use them, and they are so perfect for here. Some more of the ornaments. Yeah, and I also was using those ibex statues because I wanted to have some more animals in here. So we're going to have 2 fighting ibexes, whatever, on this centerpiece right here. And then we are already finished. So it's time for the real-time part. I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. I hope you like the entrance building, and I really do hope that you will enjoy Greenpine Zoos and Gardens. So, if you did enjoy today's episode and you haven't hit the like button already, this is the perfect time for you to hit the button right now, and also to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on the next episode here in Greenpine Zoo and Gardens. So, all I have to say right now is thank you guys for watching, take care of yourself, I'm Bake and Play, and I hope you guys did have a great time. See you next time, bye!